We are now the preventive and corrective procedures in human resource development audit. This is again Dr. Myla P. Diaton, your special lecturer. Every management system requires a way for approaching non-conformities and potential non-conformities. Although many organizations are familiar with the preventive and corrective action processes, there is still some confusion on understanding the differences between them. Both preventive and corrective actions are developed to improve an organization's management systems, and their main difference can be identified by taking a closer look at their definition, which is found in most of the ISO standards, including ISO 9001. Okay, here are now the corrective action versus preventive action. Let's have first the definition of corrective action. A corrective action is taken on a detected nonconformity to prevent it from happening again. An organization will first correct or contain the problem and then determine its root cause so they can take corrective action to prevent its recurrence. When we act to prevent a repeat of a detected nonconformity, that is full and complete corrective action, not preventive action. And now for preventive action. Preventive action is when we anticipate a potential problem and take action to eliminate the possible causes and prevent the occurrence of the nonconformity. A corrective action is reactive, that is, dealing with a problem after the event, as opposed to a preventive action, which is a proactive procedure, that is, dealing with a problem before it happens. And for corrective action procedures, let's have this one. An action initiated in response to an unidentified nonconformance in order to define a problem. Attempt to identify the root cause and determine how to prevent the problem from recurring. And here is the corrective action team. A corrective action team is designated by management and the FQM, Field Quality Manager, to investigate the root cause of a nonconformance and to propose a solution to the problem. The corrective action team may consist of one or more people, and management may be part of the team if appropriate. Corrective action initiation and tracking. Once the need for a corrective action has been identified, anyone within the field branches can initiate a corrective action request through the Field Quality Manager or the FQM. Corrective actions will be uniquely identified to facilitate tracking. A 7-digit identification number will be assigned to each corrective action by the FQM. Tracking numbers will begin with CA. The first 4 digits will represent the fiscal year. The last 3 digits will begin at 001 and increase sequentially with each additional corrective action. The last 3 digits will start over at 001 and the beginning of each fiscal year. Example, CA 2007-001. The FQM will track corrective actions using the corrective action tracking log. The corrective action processes. The following procedure will be followed for addressing corrective actions. Number 1, upon identification or notification of the need for corrective action, the FQM will assign a corrective action identification number and begin documentation of the corrective action or the organization's corrective action form. The FQM, in consultation with the affected management, will designate a corrective action team, CAT, to assess the issues surrounding the problem. Members of the CAT will be noted on the corrective action form. The CAT will investigate the issue and determine the root cause of the problem. A summary of the assessment will be included on the corrective action form. Number 4, once the root cause of the problem has been identified, the CAT will determine how to correct the problem and prevent it from recurring. A summary of the cause and solution will be included in the corrective action form. The CAT will present the proposed solution to the affected management and the FQM for approval. Upon approval of the solution, if any policies or procedures require updates, the FQM will ensure they are conducted in accordance with the organization's operating procedure for document control. Number 7, the FQM will notify all affected personnel, either verbally or in writing, email or memo, of any changes that result from the corrective action process. Number 8, management is responsible for ensuring all affected personnel are implementing any changes. Some ways that management may do this is through direct communication with their staff and reviews of project records. Number 9, the FQM or their designee will formally monitor the effectiveness of the corrective actions by conducting a review of the corrective action. The time frame for reviews will be determined by the FQM and will be based on the magnitude and risk of the problem. Multiple follow-ups may be conducted to ensure the effectiveness of the corrective action. Number 10. If the FQM determines that the corrective action is not effective, based on the magnitude and risk of the problem, the CAT or management may be tasked with re-evaluating the problem and proposing another solution. If so, steps 5 to 9 above may be repeated. There may be situations where management needs to reassign members of the CAT due to expertise with a specific issue or to bring new perspective to a problem. In those situations, steps 2 to 9 may be repeated. Number 11. Once the problem has been adequately addressed, the FQM will close out the corrective action as shown in the organization's corrective action form. Based on identified areas of nonconformance, the organization will conduct internal audits of appropriate areas of activity as needed to ensure compliance with its policies and procedures. The FQM will summarize corrective actions generated during the year and report them to management for inclusion in the annual management review. Okay, in terms of records, the FQM will maintain all records associated with corrective actions. The records may include but are not limited to number 1, corrective action tracking log. 2, corrective action form. 3, documentation associated with root cause analysis. And number 4, documentation associated with solutions to the problems. And now I would like to share with you these lines. The things we fear most in organizations: fluctuations, disturbances, and imbalances are the primary sources of creativity. That's according to Margaret I. Whitley. And now, differentiate corrective versus preventive action. Expound your answers clearly. Next, what are the procedures for addressing corrective actions? Explain each. Thank you, teachers, and God bless.